Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. David? I'm David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Y'all been talking about the second-year jump. Was the jump Jake Ferguson made last season as dramatic as you've seen from a second-round player, and coming back into his third year? What do you see from him going into this camp?
I would say Jake is, it would be a poster child. I mean, you'd like to see all the guys make that jump, but also there's, other variables and factors go into that. Number one, I think you got to get it done in the off season and the weight room, and I think it was a big part for Jake, in having an understanding, what it takes to get through a full season. So, now, he's established himself, as the lead guy in that room, and so with that comes more challenges. Yeah, but I really love the path that he's been on since he's arrived here from Wisconsin.
All right, so before we start telegram, what is the plan for Diggs? How's he going? What's the ramp-up plan for Diggs?
Say that again.
Diggs, what's the ramp-up?
Trayvon?
Yes.
Yeah, we're in a return to play mode. Yeah, so I don't have an exact date, but timeline, but it's really the same answer I gave you back in the spring. We're gonna be smart with him. He looks great. I think if he was standing here, he'd tell you he'd be ready to go. So, but yeah, I think the caution is probably, from my chair is the way I look at it.
He can do everything, run full speed, just being cautious.
Yeah, definitely. He's just check him out. He'll be working out there with Britt. Yeah.
I'm Mike McCarthy with ESPN. What's your plan for Guyton in terms of maybe getting him work with the first team as you ramp up training camp to see if he's ready for that?
I think the biggest thing, is obviously you want healthy competition all the way through, and I think the depth of the offensive line is impressive. I think it's definitely a group that has a chance to be strong for years to come, just because of the, if you look at the experience level and how it lays out. So, and then that's no different for, the left tackle position. So, yeah, we got plenty of time for that. I think we have we have our first padded practice Tuesday. So, time will answer those questions.
And you mentioned the pads coming on Tuesday. Is that when it kind of gets real for some of these guys that haven't been in pads for quite a while?
I think probably more at the end of the week, because the Tuesday, Wednesday practices are still under the ramp up. As far as the time allotment and so forth. I think when you can truly get into a full practice, and see these guys, kind of push the limits. I think that'll, come to fruit, come to light more. So yeah, because Tuesday and Wednesday practice are still pretty limited.
John Machado with The Athletic. With Marshawn Nealon, you haven't got to see him in pads, but just since you've been around him, since you guys drafted him, what has kind of stood out to you?
Impressive, very impressive, very mature. So love his physicality, motor, just like we did, during the draft process. So he's off to a good start. He's seems very comfortable. Picks it up in the classroom. So yeah, outward personality, which is important. So he's off to a good start.
And he's a guy that you think could play on both edges.
Both edges, both left and right. Yeah, he can play left and right.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. You signed a couple of receivers yesterday. How serious is Ryan's health issue right now?
How serious is
Ryan's?
I think the biggest thing is I put him more in the day-to-day, but yeah, I wouldn't classify it as serious. So. Looking forward to seeing him. Just saw briefly the workout, the video from the workout, talking to Will. So yeah, I'll give you a better opinion once I see him work.
Mike, we've seen Trey Lance right here. Trey Lance has seemed to be a little bit more underneath than relative to the other quarterbacks pushing him down the field. Is that by design, or what have you seen from him so far?
No, I think the decision making is, obviously you got the play call, the situation. Obviously they, what they call. Yeah, I would say there's no design based off where it goes, but yeah, you got to remember we're still in the install. We've been trying to get as much 2-minute done as possible. We'll have 3 groups of that today. As far as the team, end the game. But yeah, there's no. Yeah, that is not by design.
Where he came in last year, obviously at the very end of camp. Is there a different plan for him leading into preseason than other quarterbacks that you like, right now on the roster?
I think the biggest thing is, I'm going to try to get Trey as much work as possible. I mean, that's the plan, not only, in practice, but also in the preseason games.
Tim Cowlishaw, Dallas Morning News. As far as Guyton and Beebe, there's a lot of excitement about starting rookies in the offensive line. That didn't used to be the case. Is that an example of how the game has changed? People are okay starting rookies up front, because that used to be very difficult.
Yeah, definitely. I know, when I first started in this league, your first and second round pick, it wasn't a big deal if they didn't play for a couple of years. But, the league is so much younger in the last 10 to 15 years, so I think that's definitely part of it. But I think it's just like anything. How your team's made up, throughout each position. I don't think you just start them to start them. But also, I think it also tells you where you are as a team. I know my first year as a head coach, we had 3 rookie offensive linemen starting. That's a challenge. But yeah, those decisions on if and when they start, in my view, has always been it's really up to the players. It's our job to make sure they're ready and create opportunities. The competition of it is important. But if it was a clear-cut, situation that we just wanted to go that way, that happens too. So, but I think the competition route is definitely the best.
Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com.
Oh, come on, man.
All right.
Well, it's just so nice to see everybody getting along here.
We allowed one time, 2 times it's on him.
Yeah, it's special, so special.
That's a false start.
I'll own it.
All right.
Yeah, it doesn't have the other clubs don't have this.
Pat Doney with NBC DFW. Mike, the rule that's allowing players to wear the Guardian caps during the games this year, I was wondering if you knew of any players who are planning to do that on your team, and then also the benefits you've heard about those from practices from the players who have used those in the past.
Oh, I think that the numbers speak for themselves. But yeah, I think it's clearly been a benefit, based off the data. But we haven't had any discussions on if anybody's going to wear one during the game. I think the heaviest discussion has been more about the new helmets, that don't require the caps.
News of you guys parting ways with Gary Conley looking to retire. Obviously, that's a loss of some veteran, veteran IQ. Can you talk about the progress of a guy like your rookie 5th round pick and how he's coming along with Caleb Carson?
Yeah, I mean, Caleb looks really good. I mean, this is, his raw talent and athletic ability really jumps off at you. But yeah, I think just going, talked about a little bit earlier with the offensive line, it's about creating opportunities for these guys. The one thing about not being in pads, the perimeter players do have an opportunity to really challenge themselves. And I just think some of the things we're doing in the secondary, are different than, emphasized a little different than what we've done in the past. And it's great work on both sides of it. So he definitely, the ability to get hands on a receiver, reroute and those types of things. I think he's done a really good job. And, I don't have any really examples yet for you, but he definitely has the ball skills that we were excited about, and he's demonstrated that in the team fundamentals and so forth. But yeah, I look for him to definitely have a lot of opportunities.
Joe Hoyt, Lone Star Live. Some of the receivers have mentioned how important Brandon Cooks has been from a leadership standpoint. Obviously, they did the trip up to Oregon up there. How important has that been, Brandon Cooks' leadership ability to that group?
I mean, you can't put a price tag on it. I mean, it's definitely something that you want throughout your whole locker room. And Brandon is a tremendous example of that, and really has been since day one. I don't know if I've seen too many guys that walk in here, from another team that really had the respect, of the locker room. I mean, both him and Stephon last year were exceptional in that area. So, yeah, it's can't have enough of it, and it's really cool to see him give back and really help these younger receivers.
Joe Trahan, WFA TV. Mike, circling back to the offensive line stuff and kind of honing in on guys. You said the players will tell you if they're ready to go. What are some of the specific benchmarks that you look for, both mentally and physically, when you know that a guy like Tyler would be ready for that tough position?
Well, it's just like anything. There's steps to it. I mean, the first thing is, they got to know what they're doing. They're going to know how alignment and assignment. Then you get into the decision making, and as far as the proper techniques, and then their style of play. The speed of play is always a big adjustment, regardless of what position you play. So the speed of the game, and then obviously the variation that they're going to see. I mean, it's the ability to handle what the defense is going to throw at them, and that's what's really the beauty. If you look at the way practice is laid out, I mean, our offensive line and defensive line spend more time than any other groups going against each other, and I just think it is a great, bright light that shows just all the little stuff that those guys have to do. So, and you only get that through reps. I mean, and let's be honest, I feel like we talk about this every year, especially since this CBA, the offensive linemen in our league are given the least opportunity to train, to get ready to play in real games. So that's why these padded practices are critical for the development not only of your team, but especially our offensive line.
Mike Leslie, WFA. Mike, what have you seen so far from Eric Hendricks, and what do you envision for him in this role?
Well, you can see it in the spring. I mean, just say, he knows the system inside and out, but he's super professional. He's the same guy every day, very diligent, very detailed, great communicator. Just have coached a lot of games against him. Extremely instinctive. Has a clear understanding of what the offense is trying to do. You don't get things by him 2 times in a row. And he's a guy that commands a lot of respect already in the defensive room. So thankful he's here.
Help with the defensive install.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just a little bit like we talked about with Brandon. I mean, he has, he has the understanding, and let's be honest. I mean, we're on an 11-hour work day, and what our players do, outside of that 11 hours, those conversations in the locker room, in the lunch line are so important. And he's definitely one of the guys that's, everybody's looking to, because he's been through it with this defense.
Like KJ Doyle, KRGV, similar vein, talking about veteran players helping out. How much do you rely on a guy like Zach Martin to help kind of mentor the younger players on the offensive line and kind of teach them the tricks of the trade?
He's awesome at it, number one, and yeah, I can't promote it enough. I mean, I'm a huge believer in that. As long as I've been in this league, that your best players have always been your smartest, most instinctive players. You can't play at that level in this league without it. So I mean, they're all extremely talented. They're special, they're gifted, and so forth. But the instincts, awareness, the intelligence, the professionalism, and he's definitely an outstanding role model.
Coach, Crystal Ridge, KTLA 5 Local News. Following up on Eric Hendricks, how much do you see him being that potential anchor to that run defense you guys are looking to bolster?
I definitely look at him as an anchor. The green dot, the whole 10 yards. So, and that's definitely an area that we have focused on, and clearly understand that's how in particular the bigger games people try to attack us. So, but yeah, I think he'll definitely be a big part of our success in the run defense. Thank you.